Good evening. Welcome to the February 1st, the day before Groundhog Truckee Unified School District Board meeting. The board did meet in closed session and we have nothing to report. At this point, would you please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance? Superintendent Geisels, is there any changes to the agenda?
We have no changes.
Would anyone care to make a motion to approve the agenda?
I'll move to approve the agenda.
All those in favor?
Aye. What, you need a second?
Oh, wait.
I'll second it.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
I would like to take this opportunity to announce that our other board member, Chris Hennessy, is out of the state, so she is not able to join us this evening. Moving on to 7.0, student representative reports. Do we have Truckee High School, Julia, Jolie, or Kylie? Who do we have?
It's me and Ryan.
Come on up.
We should know by now. Okay, so today, as you guys probably know, it was a minimum day and all our teachers received training after school. Our counseling department has also been working hard to figure out everyone's schedules and are taking enrollments for next fall as well. They're also setting up a college tour for our local students at colleges like UNR, Sierra College in Rockland, Sacramento State, and giving students opportunities. The Truckee High Talent Show returns next Thursday night in the auditorium at 6:30, so you guys should definitely come because it'll be awesome. And February 9th is our back-to-school night.
February 10th is our last home basketball game and our senior farewell. And all of our winter sports will start their postseason playoffs by the middle of this month. February 13th through 17th is our Love and Kindness Week. We have a rally set for Tuesday, February 14th, as well as dress-up days all week long. And then in our SS class, we will have some kindness activities for each class to do. And then February 20th through the 24th is Ski Skate Week. And then spring sports will begin at the end of the month. So next month, we'll have several activities planned around March Madness, including our annual Broman volleyball game, between the senior and junior boys and the spring dance.
We wanted to say thank you guys for letting us present, and thank you for all you do.
And that's it.
And North Tahoe does not have anyone here tonight. However, I do want to report out that Greg Roman from Sierra High did mention that two of our students, one from Coldstream and one from Sierra High, actually have graduated early, which is exciting. So even though they couldn't be here, that was the Sierra High School news, which is exciting. So with that, we will now move on to the highlight of our evening, school showcase. Superintendent Geisels.
I'd like to introduce Ms. Stephanie Fochek and Ms. Melanie Cook, principal and assistant principal of Tahoe Lake Elementary.
Thank you.
Wait, can I interrupt? Did your daughter make that?
No, not this one. My daughter is really into crocheting and has been making sweaters.
I have an order in.
Yes, Superintendent Geisels has one on order. Again. All right, so I'll start over. Welcome to Tahoe Lake. We're taking you there virtually tonight, and such a pleasure to share our school with you. As Superintendent Geisel said, I'm Stephanie Pochek, the principal of Tahoe Lake, and thrilled this year for the first time to have an assistant principal, Melanie Cook, who is with us 2 days a week and making a huge impact as just an amazing instructional leader. And we're going to start today with her area of expertise and where she's really been leading and taking the charge with our literacy development with the science of reading and letters.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. We will start with this slide. Teachers matter. That's what we're all here about, right? To support. They're the ones that make the impact in the classroom. It's not programs that teach kids, it's teachers who teach kids. When we're thinking about reading, we know research has proven that 95% of all students can learn to read. There are another 5% approximately that might have cognitive disabilities, that kind of thing, but 95% of kids can learn to read. However, in our country, we have data, this is from 2017, and sadly, it hasn't changed that much. We can see that fourth graders, we have, between like 30 to 35% of our kids who are at the basic or below basic level of reading, and this is a nationwide problem. This exists in Tahoe Truckee as well as pretty much every other state out there. Part of this issue comes to institutions of higher learning. That's what this IHL stands for. When we look at those institutions of higher learning, like the place where I got my teaching credential, for instance, and we look at the curriculum that's taught, we can see that 11% of those programs are teaching all of this research that is out there about how kids learn to read, what happens in their brains, that kind of thing. 8% of those, this is out of 72 different institutions. So 11 out of 72 are teaching 100% of it, 8 out of 72 are teaching 80%, 5 out of 72 are teaching 60%, and then you can see like over here, there's a 0%, and that's 22 out of the 72 credential programs are teaching the science of reading. So we could apply this maybe to teachers on our staff. We could think like we might have a school that has 72 teachers. You might have 11 of them who have had training in this. You might have 8 who have had 80% of the training, but you're going to have 22 of them who have never heard of this before. It's not what they learned in their credential program, and this would be new to them. If you want to learn more about what we're talking about, where we've been, what are those people in those credential programs learning about, I would highly recommend this podcast. It's called Sold the Story. It's a series of 6 podcasts. I put the link in there for you. And it just kind of tells us about the history of teaching reading in the United States, where we have been, where the research is pointing these days, and where we need to go. It will give you a really nice background, and also you'll hear some names that you'll recognize of programs that we have in our district that are doing great things for teachers, and then also things that are not supported by the science anymore. The way that we are training teachers about the science of reading is through this program called LETTERS, and it's not spelled wrong, it's an acronym, and it stands for Language Essentials for Teachers of Reading and Spelling. And so this is basically like a college-level course for teachers. It's not a curriculum, it's not like turn to page 1 and you're going to teach this on Monday, but it's helping teachers to understand this research that has come out since the year 2000. That they may or may not have learned about when they went to their credential programs. It's literally looking at brain science. It's fMRIs that are tracking what's happening in skilled readers' brains that help us to understand the different processes. Where do the sounds live? Where do the spelling live? How do those things come together? Where does that language comprehension piece come in, so that we can think about our instruction and align it with the ways that our brains are working. The biggest concept out there just like the most simplified version of this is that we have word recognition and language comprehension, and those two things are multiplied together to get reading comprehension. If we don't have one, we don't have reading comprehension, either side of that equation. This can go into further detail by looking at what are the skills that are embedded in that red side and the blue side, and that's what's detailed here on this slide, and all of our teachers are learning this across the district, which is really great. Letters has an implementation model where there is an online course that the teachers can take, and the district has offered to pay our teachers to take that course. And they have a few different options for making that happen. There's also a textbook that goes along with it. And then there are these face-to-face trainings. And today, teachers at Glenshire, Tahoe Lake, and Kings Beach all participated. The teachers at Truckee-L have already completed that. Donner Trail as well. I think they joined Glenshire. And we are moving into the second half of letters now. All those teams that are kind of on this second wave after Truckee Elementary are starting the second half of letters, which is about the language comprehension. So we learned a lot about vocabulary today. This is what the rollout is looking like for most of our schools. There was like a pilot program at Truckee Elementary, but all the other schools are kind of on this path. And you can see that vocabulary was today, winter of '23, and then we will continue down and finish up probably next winter, moving all the way into writing. Today we got to celebrate a lot of successes. We have a DIBELS assessment that's new to our district as well, and we were able to look at the growth outcomes that came out of that assessment. And this was just one graph that I put together. This was our intervention program. So our most struggling readers are going to a Walk to Learn program with some skilled credentialed teachers, and they are getting this targeted intervention that's looking at the data, figuring out what these kids need, and they're getting that instruction. And we can celebrate that the yellow, green, and blue slices of this pie, these are kids that are in intervention, struggling readers, and they're making average, above average, or well above average growth with this work that we've been doing. So we're super excited about that. Appreciative of the board and the district for providing this training for us, and look forward to seeing more results that look like that.
So, of course, high level of academic achievement for all students is our ultimate goal, but we can't meet that without meeting the social emotional needs of our students. We also want to focus on that today, and we have amazing pieces of support for our students across every school in TTUSD, and one thing that we have at Tahoe Lake, which we've had for a long time, is a partnership with an organization called Soul Shop, and this is a picture of Joseph from Soul Shop. We have him come out every year to train all of our students and staff in some basic, like just social development skills. And here he is with Mrs. Nordby and our kindergartners teaching the iMessage and the cleanup and how to monitor your balloon, which is when your balloon is full, you might be feeling a lot of anxiety and be impulsive, and then how to release your balloon in positive ways. So we want to walk you through just a couple of the skills that we have all of our students and staff learn, because especially when you're navigating a situation on the playground, if everyone has the language tools to address it, it just can be resolved so much more easily moving forward. And we really try to make students, which you'll see here as well, the leaders in resolving conflict and helping provide positive interactions. So these are just two tenets of it, the iMessage and the cleanup. And we give all of our students and our staff this language. And so if someone has hurt your feelings, you can identify it with, like the example on the right, I feel sad. And then you identify, and this is really important, not when you call me names, but when people call me names. Because if we say you, it creates, but I didn't, but so we just say, when people call me names, or whatever it is. I need to be treated nicely. Will you please not call me names? Asking for what you need. So this very clear structure gives even our TKers a way to express what they need. And then if I have wronged you, I have the cleanup, and I can say, I know that I hurt your feelings, I apologize, what can I do to make it right? Next time I will use nice words and not call names, will you forgive me? And so it's just really helps take something that could blow up into a big situation, minimize it, acknowledge it, move on, and give kids the tools to use this. And they start needing a lot of support, but then they can very quickly get to managing it completely independently. And it's the best thing I ever see, like two kids really arguing over if they counted fairly to get on the swing, and just without any assistance at all, use the iMessage and the cleanup to resolve whose turn it is on the swing or whatnot. So we have peacemakers, and these are upperclassmen who are trained to help facilitate the iMessage and the cleanup. And so these 4 young ladies all are peacemakers, but 2 are playing the role of kiddos with an issue on the playground, and 2 are showing how peacemaking works. And we have this path, it's called the Peace Path, that's this laminated piece that you put down the ground, and it guides through too. So you'll see the kids step through their conflict resolution. So to get it to play, do I press the red button?
You're too short! You're too tall! You're too short! You're too tall! Ah! Oh my god, you girls okay? Do you need our help? Yes. Okay, we can help. Follow up. Okay. Good girl. Yellow first. I feel mad when you call me. I know that you feel mad when I call you short. I feel mad when you call me tall. I know that you feel mad when I call you tall. What can I do to make it right? I need some respect, man. I'm gonna give you some respect. Thank you. What can I do to make it right? I need respect too. I will give you respect too. Thank you, man. From now on, I will not be short and I will give you respect. From now on, I will not be tall and I will give you respect. Take it back. Please shake your hands and leave peace and be friends forever. Yay!
So they had a lot of fun making this. And afterwards, it was so cute. Came up to me, one of the peacemakers, and said, "Oh, they said you instead of people." I was like, that's okay, we'll let it slide. But that is a really key piece. Not that you did this, but when people do this, it makes me feel however it does. Oops. And then typically on a night like this, we would love to bring students to share their perspective on their experience at school, but it's difficult to get our age learner to Truckee at this time of night. But we wanted you to hear some of our student voices, and so we have just a little thing about why our kiddos love Tahoe Lake.
My teacher. My favorite thing about school is recess and read aloud. My favorite thing about school is my teacher. My favorite thing about school is my teacher and recess. I really like about Tahoe Lake is the riding because it's really fun. My favorite thing is reading because I like reading and it's my favorite thing. My favorite thing about being a Tahoe Lake Cub is the PE. My favorite thing about being a Tahoe Lake Cub is everything. My favorite thing about being a Tahoe Lake Cub is the community. Everything about being Tahoe Lake Cub is playing with my friends and also learning. My favorite thing in Tahoe Lake Cubs is that everything I do is fun. My favorite thing about being a Tahoe Lake Cub is that the teachers are so nice.
It's all of the wonderful teachers here and what they teach you.
My favorite thing about Tahoe Lake is that I have all my friends with me.
My favorite thing about Tahoe Lake is all the teachers teaching us how to respect each other.
My favorite thing about Tahoe Lake is the kind people.
My favorite thing about Tahoe Lake is all the wonderful teachers here.
My favorite thing about Tahoe Lake is all the teachers are great and the principal's the best.
My favorite thing about being a Tahoe Lake student is like all the teachers and my friends. My favorite thing about being a Tahoe Lake student is the amazing view of this. Tahoe Lake.
And that day was not our best view. It was a little overcast. I'd include, the bluebird picture of the view, because we really do have the most remarkable view from our playground. And Tahoe Lake is just a wonderful place for all of our children, like all of our TTUSD schools are. And so appreciate you allowing us to share a little slice of Tahoe Lake with you tonight. And then I cannot end without one last slide. Just recognizing our incredible team, because this group of people here is so dedicated, like all of our TTUSD teachers and staff, to the well-being of our kids, to their high academic growth and standards, and work just tirelessly every day. So any chance I can take to recognize our amazing Tahoe Lake team, I always want to take that opportunity. And this is almost everyone. It's impossible to get an entire school staff together for a picture. Just schedules never allow. But this was pretty good. It was almost everyone. So thank you for your time this evening.
Way to go. Okay. At this point, we will open up to public comment. I'll read my little blurb. No action or discussion shall be undertaken on any item not appearing on the posted agenda, except the members of the board or the Tahoe Unified School District staff may briefly respond to statements made or questions posed. There is a 3-minute per comment is the time limit, and there will be a total of 30 minutes allocated if the need arises. Would there be any public comment this evening? Seeing none, I will close public comment and move to the superintendent's report. Superintendent Geisels?
Thank you. So I have a few little items to discuss. Our LCAP survey is finished. We're very excited about that. We had a lot of I think over 600 families over 700 families and students that responded, so that's great news to know. The strategic plan survey, one more survey is coming out next week in both Spanish and English, and then I will be working with each of the school site principals to have student focus groups. We're coming and getting their opinions, and we have some activities, and I am bringing treats, just so everyone hears that. So we're very excited about that. And we visited Glenshire this past week, and thank you to Glenshire and Mrs. Cuddle and Mr. Mohagan for a great visit. I really enjoyed seeing the Wellness Center and visiting with Mrs. Falk and with all of the teachers and all of the exciting activities that we got to participate in. And last but not least, it's coming up later on in the agenda, but I would like to give a special thanks to our school counselors. School Counseling Week is coming up, and I want to thank them for all of their service. It's been a tough road coming back in from COVID full-time, and the work they do is just invaluable. So I'd like to acknowledge that. And we'll have a strategic plan update to the board on the 15th of February at the next meeting.
Thank you for that update. Moving on to resolution number 18. Superintendent Geisels?
I would like Ms. Anna Marie, Dr. Cohen, if you would lead this off.
Okay, thank you. Board of Trustees. School counselors are an integral part of the academic team at Tahoe-Truckee Unified School District and work with educators to help students realize their potential and set healthy, optimistic goals for themselves. We are very fortunate to have school counselors assigned to each of our schools. Our counselors advocate for students and are actively engaged in helping students explore their abilities, strengths, and interests. They provide multiple opportunities for students to develop their social skills and explore their future educational and career goals. There is no doubt that our school counselors have a positive impact on the lives of our students. Based on the tremendous impact school counselors have in helping students achieve success and as part of National School Counseling Week, TTUSD's Board of Education is recommended to adopt Resolution 18-2022-2023 National School Counseling Week, February 6th through the 10th, 2023, as the Week of the School Counselor.
Thank you for that. Board, have any questions or comments? Any public comment on that item? I also will make a comment just that, yeah, over-the-top counselors and a different, and I think just what you were saying, Melanie, in reference to what we learned previously, we didn't learn all that stuff. And so I think that they stepped it up. And I think, we talked about this the other day too, is the teachers have done a lot of the counseling as well. And I think that the leadership that you have in your counseling crews, teams, has sort of passed on down to the rest of the crew, which I think is it's obvious. But I'm excited about having them have acknowledged a week. They need a year. With that, anyone care to make a motion for this resolution?
I'll make a motion to approve Resolution 18, 2022-23 for our National School Counseling Week.
And is there a second?
I will second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Thank you. And now, 12.0 donation. Superintendent Geisels.
The Tahoe Truckee Airport has generously donated $1,500 to the Truckee High School girls basketball team. So staff is asking that the board accept this generous donation for our Truckee girls, Truckee High School basketball team.
That is awesome. And any board comments or questions? I did make one comment before, just saying that the Tahoe Truckee Airport District is amazing for so many different things, and it's amazing what they do. So it's kind of fun to see different things that they support. And with that, would there be anyone wanting to make a donation for that? A motion to accept the donation.
I move to accept the donation.
And a second?
I'll second.
And all those in favor?
Aye.
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 Perfect. 13.0 is the consent agenda. Superintendent Geisels, is there anything that you would need to pull from the consent agenda?
No, there's nothing we want to.
Board, anything to pull from the consent? Would someone like to make a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented?
I'll move to approve the consent agenda.
Second?
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye. Oh, sorry. Aye. Sorry, Pat.
Aye.
I'm going along. Okay. With that, we're at 15.0, educational services. Moving to Superintendent Geisels.
Ms. Kirsten Kramer is going to speak to this item.
Good evening. What we have for you tonight are the school accountability report cards for each school site. We prepare them every year once the state releases the student achievement data in the winter. And they're a great tool for anyone in the community to learn about each school. It includes enrollment numbers, average class size, student achievement data, conditions of the facilities, and teacher preparation, and so on. It's really a great tool. Once they're approved by the board, they'll be posted in a couple different locations on the website, on each school's website, and then on the district webpage as well. So the staff recommends that you approve these school accountability report cards, noting that there are 4 areas that the state has not released the data yet. And once the state does release that information, the accountability report cards will be updated and the new version will be put on the website, and it doesn't have to come back to you.
Thank you for that. Does the board have any questions or comments? Any public comment on this topic? I will tell you that there is a lot of work that has to get done to get these done, and it's in the midst of everything else. But these are, I think they are pretty solid in terms of it's nice for us to get a quick snapshot. And they're consistent, which I think that you guys have all worked hard, I say teachers, but principals have gotten so that they're easy to read, or easier to read. So I just want to make a quick note that thank you for doing that, because that is a lot, but it really helps us, and I think it helps the rest of the world out there to see really what we're doing. And with that, is there, and I agree, so when the updated information comes, then we will not be seeing these again, and we'll
We
just.
won't be asked to be approving them, right?
Yeah, we won't have to reapproved. The information that we're missing,
It is the teacher preparation and placement data, teachers without credentials and misassignments, and credentialed teachers assigned out of field, and class assignments. So that particular data is newer for the state to collect, and we've submitted it all on time, and the state is just working on their database and to release that to the public. Once it's released to the public, we will then add it to the report and put those new reports on the websites.
And then we'll get some sort of notification that they
Yes.
were updated. Okay.
Yep.
That's awesome. All right. This is an info action, so would someone care to make a motion to approve?
I will make a motion to approve the school accountability report cards.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Thank you. Moving on to communications, 16.0, Superintendent Geisels.
Yes, I'd like to introduce Ms. Amber Burke. She's going to be discussing about 2 proposed letters in support of the town of Truckee and Tahoe Transportation District.
Hi, good evening. So today, I am seeking your approval on the proposed letter of support for the Town of Truckee's grant application for the 2023 Transit and Intercity Rail Capital Program for the Keep Truckee Moving Expansion and Electrification Project. This grant program funds transformative capital improvement projects within the California transit system, which are meant to reduce greenhouse gases, vehicle miles traveled, and congestion. Truckee's grant application is requesting funds for their Keep Truckee Moving Expansion and Electrification Project, which would allocate funds towards improvements and expansions of the town's microtransit program, including purchasing electric vehicles, an app-based on-demand transit technology software, and public charging infrastructure at the Rail Yard Transit Center. We feel it's important to support our local partners with this letter of support in their efforts in improving transportation within the region, which we know will benefit all of our residents within the community.
I can only say that this is so well-timed after sitting in traffic for like 4 hours to try to get back and forth. Does the board have any comments or questions on this?
I'll just make a comment. I think the town of Truckee is being really progressive in how they're approaching all of our transit within the community, including what we're calling sort of informally free Uber at this point with the microtransit that they have. But applying for grants, looking for other opportunities, also as a way to just help the community not be stuck in traffic and then to reduce their costs too. That transportation is one of the largest costs to our community members, and so looking for ways that we can put them in housing that's closer or getting them out of their cars and into transit that comes from subsidized funding is really important. So this is great.
Is there any public comment on this? I will tell you that all the board members did read the letters that were proposed from the town of Truckee, and I think everyone was in agreement to move forward with this. And when I looked at it, it did interrail, and I kind of was like, wait, we're not doing interrail anywhere. No. But it was funny because it is a lot of electric buses. And the other thing that is, I think what you just said, Danielle, is in terms of getting it moving, like there's a lot that has to happen. So if the town of Truckee can start something and Placer could join in or whatever, it just gives us a sort of a template to start. Not that we have it easier over there. There's just not a lot of room. So anything we can do is good, and I actually, I'm glad that we're part of it. So with that, info and approval, so there's 2 of them.
Yes.
Would you like to read the second part now, and then we'll go from there?
Absolutely. So it really ties into what you just spoke about. So secondly, I'm seeking your approval on the proposed letter of support for the Tahoe Transportation District's grant application, once again for the same 2023 Transit and Intercity Rail Capital Program, for their Transforming Tahoe Interregional Electrified Rapid Transit Facility and Corridor Improvement Projects. These projects include a bus storage facility at the Town of Truckee's Corporation Yard on Stevens Lane, a new high-speed electric passenger ferry system, and the creation of rapid transit lanes and mobility hubs within the Resort Triangle on 89 and 267. The Town of Truckee requested our letter of support because they see these capital improvements as an important component of the overall transit system, particularly the bus storage facility, which will be able to give them the ability to store and maintain a larger fleet as their ridership and system grows. So once again, we feel this is important and it would greatly benefit our community.
Any questions, comments, and public comment on that? So we will bring them back individually, and thank you for that. Thank you for writing the letter.
Yep.
And would someone like to move to approve 16.1?
I'll make a motion to approve 16.1 for approving the proposed letter of support to the town of Truckee for their grant application.
And is there a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Thank you. And then 16.2, is there a motion to approve that?
I'll move to approve the proposed letter to the Transportation District for 16.2.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Thank you.
Thank
you for that. And hopefully that will move us forward. At this point, 18.0, 18.1, oh, did I miss 7? Oh, my goodness, I just checked off 17. 17.0, first read. These are for you, Superintendent Geisels, to introduce.
So these are just revisions of these certain board policies. Dr. Cohen, you want to speak to each one of them?
Sure. This is information item only. The first read of proposed revisions of Board Policy and Administrative Regulation 5113.1, chronic absence and truancy. Revisions include tiered approach to reducing chronic absenteeism, universal strategies and letters to parents and guardians, an expansion of material regarding early intervention, adds provisions of training and information to staff for implementation of trauma-informed approach to chronic absenteeism, reflects chronic absenteeism as a measure of district and school performance on the California dashboard, and adds grade level to the list of specific data to be provided to the board regarding attendance, absence, and truancy. This will be brought back for action at the next board meeting.
Thank you.
Thank you. And any board comments or questions on that? Public comment on that item? Okay, then moving on to 17.2.
Okay, this is an information item only. First read of proposed revisions of Board Policy and Administrative Regulation 5141.31, immunizations. The policy update is to reflect the new laws, SB 276-2019 and SB 714-2019, which specify conditions under which a medical exemption is effective. Policy also deletes outdated date regarding immunization requirements for enrollment or advancement to grade 7.
Thank you. Any board comments, questions, public comment? Seeing none, I will move on to, thank you for those. We will bring those back on the 15th. Okay. And association reports.
So CSCA is in here this evening.
Okay.
I believe Ms. Cruz didn't come this evening, so, okay. So, of course, we have TTA here.
Okay. TTEA.
Good evening. My name is David Stakely. I'm a science teacher at North Tahoe High School, as you know, as well as the lead negotiator for the almost 300 educators in the Tahoe Truckee Education Association. I'm happy to report that the TTA and TTUSD negotiation teams were able to reach a mediated settlement today and have a signed tentative agreement. The TTA bargaining team and e-board are both strongly supporting this agreement for ratification to our membership in an all-call meeting tomorrow evening, so we should know by 8:30, 9 o'clock on Friday night, and hope the board will approve this agreement when it comes to you, before you at a future meeting. We're happy to reach a mediated settlement. Despite the disagreement and difficulty throughout this negotiation, the collective bargaining process was able to yield a fair result. Pending ratification and board approval, TTA teachers are looking forward to focusing all of our attention and energy on the students in our classrooms. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Stickley. And with that, we have board comments. Kirsten, would you like to start on this end?
Just real quick, thank you so much, Mrs. Cottle and Mr. Mohagan, for having us over to visit Glenshire Elementary last week. That was a wonderful experience. I don't get out to the sites nearly as much as I'd like to, due to the impact my practice has had locally and not being able to just leave the office. So I really love getting out to campuses because it really reminds me of the value and the beauty of this beautiful school district that we have, and seeing all the smiling faces and having children explain to us how they're learning math using ELA language was really phenomenal, and getting a chance to see all the beautiful classrooms, all of the tremendous pride that every single teacher takes in decorating and making sure all of the artwork is displayed. It's just beautiful to get onto campuses, and I hope to be able to do it more often once I can clone myself.
Thanks, Kirsten. Danielle?
I would also like to clone myself. That sounds really fascinating. Could be in multiple places at one time. I went to the Excellence in Education fundraiser that they had at Sugar Bowl, so the poker run. So that was really fun to see lots of TTUSD students there and their families and teachers. So it happened to be like the one sunny day that was out, and just got us all thinking about why we're here and what we love about being in this area. So that was really good. And I'm kind of intrigued about going to the talent show for the high school. So I might have to stop by that.
That's awesome. Pat?
Yeah. I'm glad that we've reached a tentative agreement with TTEA. It pleases me greatly to know that hopefully this is going to be behind us, at least that aspect of it. I still think there's a great deal of work to be done between TTEA and TTUSD in building relationships and collaborative relationships in that regard. I'm reminded of something I overheard as a teenager. My father had a friend who was born into money, and he went to a good school, and he became an engineer and added to his own wealth, with hard work and so on, with this great job that he had. And when it came time for him to marry, he, of course, had his lawyer write up a prenuptial agreement for his new wife, for his new bride. And she had her lawyer, and they came to an agreement, and they got married, and they were very happy. Part of this agreement, as I understood it as a teenager, which, was probably not very clearly, is that it had to be renegotiated every so often. It might even have been every year. I'm not really sure. And I recall overhearing late one night at, a cocktail party that my parents frequently had, that the time for the renegotiation was coming up. And my dad was asking him, well, how do you think it's going to go? What do you think is going to happen? And he said, well, over the years, we have found that we no longer need lawyers to renegotiate our prenup, which is now, I guess, a postnup. And he said, all we do now is we sit down late at night with a bottle of wine and we work it out. And usually by the end of the night, they've come to their agreement. And I think it's time for TTEA and TTUSD to sit down with a bottle of wine and come to some kind of, not an agreement, but at least an understanding of collaboration and working together for a common cause. I think, as I've mentioned previously, I think we're at a crossroads in our relationship with the district and with the teachers, and that steps need to be taken to repair that relationship. And I know that Nick, a few meetings ago, mentioned that there would be some TTEA executive officers who might be reaching out to board members to start the process of that healing, or of that bringing the two sides together. Because as I've mentioned earlier, we're not two sides, we're one side with a common purpose and a common goal and a common vision. And we need to start working that way. We ask our teachers to connect with our students because we know it works. We know that when we have an understanding with our students, they learn better, that they feel that we care. And if we can do it for our students, we need to start doing it for each other. So hopefully this coming year, I will get a call from Nick, maybe, somebody, and we can start the process. And I would encourage the board to when someone does reach out in this regard, to welcome it and make the most of it, make the most of that opportunity. I also wanted to say on another topic, if you don't mind indulging me a little bit, in regards to what Stephanie Fauchek and Melanie Cook are doing at Tahoe Lake, especially when I watched the conflict resolution, I was with a friend today who is a retired teacher, and he had been offered some crazy agreement to go back into the classroom because in his district they were short on teachers. So, he got his retirement and full salary. It was beyond belief, he said. And about halfway through the year, well, as I was talking to him, he told me that he resigned last Friday. He'd had enough. And he resigned because he felt that the students that he was teaching, let me put it this way, that the administration of the school where he was teaching was not maintaining control of the school. That the students were out of control. It was there was no discipline. There was nothing happening for the students in that regard. And when I see what Stephanie's doing with her kids, and the kind of social emotional work that not only she's doing, but we're doing throughout the district and at all the schools, I feel that my friend, had he been working here, would still be working. Because it's such a great place. Because we're doing, not we, but the teachers and the administrators are doing such a great job in providing this wonderful place for our kids to be. And Ed, thank you for Donner Trail. It's beautiful up there. So thanks for that. And thanks to all the administrators who are making that happen. I felt so bad for my friend who, was really, I don't know how much he was looking forward to going back to teaching, but he had to give it up. It wasn't working out. There's one other thing, but I'll save it. I've said enough tonight.
I'm going to interrupt. Where were you today?
I was at a high school race at Alpine Meadows.
Okay, well, how'd it go?
I'm not sure. I have results, but you have to tabulate all the points, and that's my job, and I'm here, so I'll do it later.
So right now, no one knows who won.
Nobody knows which school won the race, right? They're waiting for me to get back to them.
Damn, that's exciting. That's why you didn't bring it up.
Yeah, because I don't know.
Sorry.
It's North Tahoe or Truckee.
Sorry.
I think I'm safe in saying that.
Dang. They're outside, I'm sure. Too funny. That's good. I'm glad you were there. I think that is fun. I should have been there, but today was the only day off the snow. I have been actually skiing with Tahoe Lake Elementary School when they have a skiing program, so the kids all go for the morning, and for the last weekend, and then yesterday we were at Palisades with our kindergartners and our first graders, which was awesome. And so Karen Roski got it together, and Palisades lets them have a lesson and equipment if you need it. And they skied for the morning, and it was, we've had 2 Bluebird days, so it was awesome. It's really fun. Afternoons, I've been Strider gliding with all of our little kids, and they are awesome. Yesterday, we had the Devo team from North Tahoe High School come take us around the whoop-de-doos, and we did relays for like an hour and a half, which was so much fun. I also went to Glenshire with Carmen and Chris and Kirsten. Awesome place. Thank you very much for setting us all up over there. Those guys have done a great job. It's great to see Kyle over there. He looks happy. And then I did go to a Zoom webinar from DKW Lawyer Extraordinary. What is it? DWK. I got the D part right. And our superintendent was a panelist, and we discussed the Brown Act, what you can and cannot say and what you can and cannot do. Our district shined, but no, it was great. It's an interesting thing, the Brown Act, but very, very exciting. I was glad we went. And then that's that for me. All right, we're adjourned.